At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the San Diego Padres. Tuesday Night Baseball is presented by Verizon. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Land Rover Above and Beyond. By the New York Lottery, hey, you never know. By Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. By Toyota, see where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Astoria Bank. At Astoria Bank, the difference is wanting to make a difference. Visit AstoriaBank.com. Well, New Yorkers know the best time to drive through the city. Off hours is our recommendation. Camp moving around Grand Central? Nah. But if you've played in New York before, you have some idea. And, well, Tyler Clippard is back in town. Clippard is now a Met. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. I'm Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, and Keith Hernandez alongside. The Mets open a 3-game series against the San Diego Padres. Yesterday, the Mets made a move to help their bullpen. They bring in the former Washington National Tyler Clippard, who was playing in Oakland this year, not having quite as good a year as in his Washington seasons, mostly because of walks, but a high-quality, experienced relief pitcher to help out the Mets and pitch the 8th inning. However, today that move was negated by the revelation that Henry Mejia has failed a second test for PEDs, again for an old-school steroid. His suspension this time will be 162 games, and so Mejia is basically out of sight and out of mind. And the question is, after the revelation now following the joy of yesterday getting Clippard, where does that leave the Mets bullpen?
Well, first, Clippard. It's sad that the news of getting Clippard has to be saddened by the Mejia news. One, Clippard is so good. We've seen him in the National League East for the Nats. He's a guy that gives you 60, 70 games a year, low ERA. He knows the National League, knows the National League East. He's going to be great. And as far as Mejia is concerned, he's sandwiched in 7 games between 2 positive drug tests. If you're not on the ship to the postseason, who cares? Get rid of him and let's start anew.
Well, that ship is getting differently populated over the last few days. The Mets have made several additions. Michael Conforto, Kelly Johnson, Juan Uribe, the increased production from Kirk Neuenhuis, so all of a sudden Terry Collins has a lot of options on his hands.
Well, it's a very unique position that Terry finds himself in as manager at his tenure as a New York Met manager. These are nice problems to have. He has a little more depth. He may not have a superstar in there, but he has more veteran depth. Now, how does he get the most out of his players? Not so much keeping them happy, but keeping them feeling like they're part of the team. It's ironic tonight. You got Flores third night in a row out of the lineup. Uribe's playing over him with a right-hander on the lineup, pitching against them. Neuenhuis is going to be platooned with Lagares. He's in there. There's a right-hander. That's a platoon. I'm not so worried about the veterans, Gary. Johnson's and Uribe's, they're used to this role. Murphy would be used to it. I'm more concerned about Flores. I'm more concerned about Lagares, how they're going to handle it. I'm sure Terry's talked with them, but that's one of the most difficult things for a manager to do, is get the most out of their 25.
Well, the asset that the Mets have not had to mess with is their starting pitching, and Noah Syndergaard, who has been right on top of things, gets the ball tonight.
Well, that's been their strength, but this is a team where you could make the argument he had his worst start in the Major League. Lots of strikeouts, but he gave up lots of runs.
On the other side, James Shields, who came in with much fanfare, one of many Padres who may be on the block this week.
You know, it's been a strange year for Shields because he's got plenty of run support, but in July he's been much better. His ERA just above 2, although he's only 1-1.
Padres a team to watch as we move toward the trading deadline coming up this Friday. It's the Mets and Padres, all the action coming your way tonight, right here on SNY.
Oh, God.
Miss a moment of Mets baseball on the largest, most reliable 4G LTE network, only from Verizon. Here's your Data Strong fan photo of the game, brought to you by T-Mobile. It's a Piazza jersey and a Piazza t-shirt. Thanks, Donna. Time now for the Coldwell Banker home field advantage, and home has been very kind to Noah Syndergaard this year. 1.74 ERA in a half dozen home starts, and they'll try and keep those good Flushing times going tonight as the Mets open their series against the Padres. First pitch is coming right up. At Citi Field tonight, last 5 starts, 1.59 ERA for the 22-year-old from Texas. And he'll try and get the Mets off to a good start in this series against this San Diego Padres starting lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. No deals yet by the Padres, but just about everybody in that lineup is available, including Will Venable, who's been linked to the Mets, and Justin Upton, who's been linked to the Mets, and you get the idea.
Well, Syndergaard in his last start, we showed earlier, gave up 5 walks with those 4 strikeouts, with 5 innings, only giving up a run. Good stats all the way around in the Jeep stats.
Here's Venable, the Princeton grad, leading off, and he takes a strike, and we're underway. Venable at 247 has gotten far more playing time than expected because of the injured wrist suffered by Will Myers, who is still out and suffered a setback this week and looks like he'll be out a while longer. Venable takes it low, and it's 1-1.
Myers had wrist surgery in the middle of June.
Yangervis Solarte on deck. Matt Kemp behind him. Padres come in at 5 games under 500. And a foul tip by Venable, 1-2. San Diego 8.5 back in the West, 8 games out of the wild card, and after all of their productive activity in the offseason, appear set to start breaking it down. And so it goes. Winning December does not win you anything.
That's right.
1-2 coming, and Venable gets jammed and fouls it off. There are the standings in the West, where the Giants continue to be raging hot. They've won 12 of 13 and moved within a half game of the Dodgers. Dodgers are home to play Oakland tonight. Giants are home against Milwaukee. And Venable goes down swinging on the high fastball, and Syndergaard starts his night with a strikeout.
Well, the first start that Syndergaard had against the Padres was the strangest line I think I ever saw in my life. He went 4 innings, gave up 10 hits, 7 runs, but struck out 10. So the strikeouts were not a problem in his first start.
Well, what made it even more remarkable is what happened the night before, that Andrew Cashner of the Padres likewise had gone less than 5 innings, struck out double digits, gave up double-digit hits. It had never been done in Major League Baseball prior to that, and it happened on back-to-back nights in the same ballpark. Hervis Solarte has inherited the third base job that was supposed to belong to Will Middlebrooks, who's now in the minor leagues. And so it is gone for the Padres, and the former Yankee takes a strike, and it's 0-2.
Like Yasiel Puig, he goes with the one pocket outlook. There's Matt Kemp on deck.
Is that like a thing now?
I think it is.
They're pounding him in. I never liked that look.
Oh, Reyes used to do that. He'd do that when he was here.
Usually the guy that had the tobacco in his back pocket or gum, and he'd go in there and reach in and he'd pull it out by mistake.
Looked like he had his wallet in his other pocket.
Like Ricky Rivers, Rico Cardi.
Rico Cardi.
Yeah, I mean, what is that?
It could be his phone book.
2-2 to Solarte with Kemp on deck. And Solarte bounces one foul.
And we'll take a quick look at your Metsy defense. Always brought to you by Lexus. Conforto again, his 4th start. Neuenhuis has been hitting. He's earned the role in center field. He's in there again. Murphy's first start at second base since the big moves were made, and Uribe starting at third base. And Plawecki behind the plate.
Well, we mentioned Jose Reyes and his fashion statements. Reyes, a big piece of news last night, traded to Colorado in the deal for Troy Tulowitzki, which I think caught everybody, including Tulowitzki, by surprise.
Yeah, definitely did. Tulowitzki always had such a close relationship with the Monfort family, who owned the Rockies. Thought he would be told in person. He was not. Kind of just
hang with them.
That's how it goes. But now he's in Toronto, and Reyes, I think, what a great, gets off the carpet, goes to Colorado. He could hit 330 there easily.
I think it's a great deal for both teams. The Rockies save $50 million in salary, get a couple of young, strong arms, 3 of them, as a matter of fact. And the Blue Jays, who already have the strongest lineup in baseball, make it even stronger with Tulowitzki.
And don't forget, LaTroy Hawkins moved over. He should get some outs late for them, but they still need some pitching help.
Here's the biggest problem that you might foresee with the deal is Tulowitzki going to play on carpet.
Yeah.
And what effect that's going to have on his overall health.
Well, he's had a hard time staying on the field on grass.
9th pitch to Solarte, and he bloops one to shallow center, and right there is Neuenhuis, and that's the second out. Drive around the majors presented by Nissan. When we mentioned the Blue Jays and Rockies trade, Ben Zobrist goes to the Royals, who already got Johnny Cueto, so they're really stocking up. And it looks like Jonathan Papelbon on the verge of going from Philadelphia to Washington, where he will take over the closer's role. Drew Storen will move to the 8th inning.
You think Kansas City's all in? They traded their #1 round pick and 2nd round pick from 2013 and their #1 round pick from 2014 to get the players.
Here's Matt Kemp, who's been on fire in the month of July after a very rough start, and he fouls one back. Kemp over the last 14 games hitting .380, starting to play more like the Matt Kemp the Padres thought they were getting from the Dodgers.
It's kind of how he played last year, Gary. You know, he really had a kind of soft first half and kicked it in gear.
Well, unfortunately for the Padres, the horses are already out of the barn.
And Syndergaard dents that outside corner with a fastball. There are the late numbers for Kemp over the last 14 games.
Around a half a month's work. See how it looks at the after 30 games. Get a better barometer.
0-2 coming. And that's on the outside corner, and Syndergaard gets Kemp looking. Side retired. 1-2-3 for Syndergaard with a couple of punch outs. Mets come to bat against James Shields with no score. starting lineup today. Kirk Neuenhuis gets another start in center field with his hot play, his third straight start. Juan Uribe, his first start for the Mets after his walk-off hit on Sunday afternoon. And James Shields goes for his 123rd career win tonight.
That's Toyota numbers for James Shields. He was getting over 5 runs of run support during the course of this year, but only 9 runs in his last 7 games as it's dried up a little bit.
Curtis Granderson leads things off and takes up and away from Shields. Granderson, lifetime against Shields, 7 hits in 61 at bats. A couple of home runs, but just a 115 batting average against this right-hander. And he lines one into left center for a base hit. So with the Padres playing the full shift, Granderson hits it where there's nobody playing, and he has himself a leadoff hit.
Well, the Mets again now. Fastball outside corner, belt high. Nicely done by Curtis, going right with it.
You know, Keith, we saw this before when we were in the National League West. The entire West plays Curtis Granderson with that huge shift. I don't know if he's that same player.
There's Ruben Tejada. Ruben up to 257 on the year. Interesting to see how the Mets play early against Shields, whether they play for a run. Been playing hit and run with Tejada a lot lately. And Ruben takes it off the corner for ball 1.
10-year career for Shields. He's got 33 pickoffs. An outstanding move to first base.
He wanted to know where that fastball was on Ruben.
Sometimes a flip of the coin with C.B. Buckner behind the plate.
Very elaborate stretch.
You know what's interesting, Ronnie, as we check out the umpires for tonight's game. C.B. Buckner, balls and strikes. Dale Scott, James Hoy, and Lance Barrett, the crew. Despite that great pickoff move that Shields has, he's been vulnerable to the stolen base this year.
Remember, Derek Norris is an offensive player, so his arm has always been a little suspect. But Padre pitchers, Tyson Ross and others, do not hold runners on that well.
Ross has given up 26 steals this year. Shields a dozen, which seems like a lot for a guy who holds runners so well. Short lead for Granderson. And Tejada trying to go to right field, fouls it off. 1-2. Well, James Shields brought in for 4 years at $75 million at age 33. He has had 8 straight years of 200 or more innings, 4 straight years of 225 or more innings, and a lot of concern in the industry when he was out in the free agent market about how those innings would affect him as he moves toward his mid-30s. Shields has had a good year, but far from his best year here in San Diego. And there you see the numbers for the 3 big free agents. Shields the lowest priced of the 3. Scherzer got $210 million. Lester got what, $155. Shields got 4 years, $75 million.
That's a lot of glue, boy, I tell you.
Scherzer's numbers with the walks and strikeouts, he's just having a dominating year, although his numbers might not show it because they haven't scored him a lot of runs.
And his last start he struggled. Tejada had a long at bat here. Well, Shields since 2007 has thrown the 2nd most innings in the major leagues. Only Felix Hernandez, and I think it's only 3 more, has more innings pitched than Shields.
Well, it goes to what you were saying, Gary. What has made him a great pitcher worked against him this winter, as people said, is he close to the end? I don't know. It seems to me like he's throwing fine. The one thing, the problem here, that in the American League it's not a problem, is that his pitch count tends to get high. In the National League, if you're behind, you're out of the game.
Good time at bat here for Tejada as he takes Lone away.
Ruben has been playing really well. A tremendous shortstop, and he's played himself back into the lineup. And he's got to play every day the way he's playing, Gary.
Well, it's interesting with all the different configurations the Mets can put out there. He's still really the only shortstop they have. I mean, the backup at shortstop is still Wilmer Flores.
So I guess where we're at here at the end of July is that the only constant in all the shifting that we're going to have in the infield for the next 2 months is Ruben Tejada.
The guy they didn't want to play.
That's right.
At the beginning of the season. But that's how baseball seasons go sometimes.
Right.
You know, your expectations in April become very different from the realities as you head toward August. And Tejada's raised his batting average 30 points in the month of July. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat from Shields, and Tejada takes it inside. It pops out of Norris's mitt, but Granderson will stay put, and so Tejada's worked himself to a full count.
Got to believe Curtis will be on the run here. Ruben's been going the other way. Well, the key to his success has been he's hitting less fly balls, hitting more line drives and ground balls.
Send him here?
Yes, absolutely.
Mets have certainly been doing a lot more putting runners in motion over the last couple of weeks. He's running right back to Shields. It goes through his legs right to the bag where Amarista is able to turn the double play. Boy, you talk about good fortune. Shields couldn't flag it down, but Amarista standing on second base able to turn the 6-6-3 double play.
Shields tried to field this, Keith, backwards.
Went through wickets. Yes. Very fortunate that he did not deflect it, because this set up 2 easily for the Padres.
That was such an odd play. So Shields knows the good fortune that he just obtained. Now he'll face Daniel Murphy with 2 out and nobody on. Murphy playing second base tonight. He played the last inning or 2 at second base on Sunday after the Mets made a double switch, but otherwise hasn't played there in the better part of a month.
Well, Terry's going to go with the offense. This team, we know, it's been struggling offensively, and now with the pickup of Kelly Johnson and Uribe, and I'd like the fact that Terry came out and pretty much prodded his team. I'm playing the guys that are going to hit.
Murph takes one the other way, and he's got a base hit. So the second hit of the inning against Shields. And the Mets have a 2-out base runner for Duda.
Nice hitting by Daniel. I'd love to see Daniel do that. I know you become more of a pull hitter as you get older. You get familiar with the pitchers and you become more of a pull hitter. But I really think that Daniel's forgotten about left center field a little bit too much. He should own left center field, but still he's done a fine job. Big shift on Lucas. Well, that's an automatic.
They'll leave the shortstop Amarista on the left side, and Duda takes a strike. Third baseman Solarte over on the right side of second base, with Jerko, the second baseman, in shallow right field. Duda 14 home runs, including 2 on Saturday. 104 strikeouts, though. That's now 4th in the National League. And Shields picks off the inside corner 0-2. Well, the Mets, despite the influx of offensive weapons the last few days, have a lot of ground to make up. Still last in the National League in runs scored.
15 on Saturday. A big hit by Uribe on Sunday.
Duda cranks one out to deep right center. Taking a look is Venable. That ball is out of here. Deep into the seats in right center. Duda behind in the count. Shields trying to bust him inside, and Duda hits a bomb. Number 15 for Duda, and the Mets jump out to a 2-0 lead.
Well, Lucas has been out in front, and Shields ahead in the count, wants to try to come back inside. It bleeds out over the inner half, but this is what I'd like to see. Lucas had 2 strikes on him, and he's been so much out in front for so long, and that's why he's hitting down 236.
So Juan Uribe getting his first start.
So there's a case where you got 2 strikes, you got to protect, and just trust the quickness of your hands.
21st home run given up by Shields. 17 had been solos, but not that one there. And maybe the days of the Mets going down 1, 2, 3 in the first might be over.
Well, for Duda, he had hit 12 solo home runs. That's only his 3rd this year with men on base. Uribe 2 for 4 in his first 2 games as a Met, both coming off the bench. He pops this one up in foul ground. And Alonso has room to make the grab, and that retires the side. But the Mets get on the board quickly against James Shields. Lucas Duda, maybe the longest home run he's hit this season, gets the Mets out to a 2-0 lead. ...156 feet. And that Mets home run means $2,000 for a New York City community partner, courtesy of Citi. Justin Upton leads off in the second against Noah Syndergaard.
Noah coming out, just throwing petrol, gas.
Always does.
He brings it just like Wheeler used to bring it every night.
Yep. The only bump in the road for Syndergaard in his last start was that he walked 5 in Washington, but he was able to work around 5 hits and 5 walks in 5 innings, only give up 1 run.
Yeah. Well, he's pitched pretty well with runners in scoring position all season long, but he's getting a little off that outside corner from C.B. Buckner, trying to use that against the Padres.
There's the curveball to Upton, and he gets the strike 1 and 2. Justin Upton will be a free agent after this year, and he has been the subject of much speculation heading to the trading deadline after being acquired from the Braves in the offseason.
Well, pop one up and in. The Mets have pitched well against Justin Upton. They've been able to elevate the fastball when they get ahead of him.
Yonder Alonso, who's given the Mets fits, is on deck. Derek Norris behind him. Grounded slowly. Uribe in front of it. And throws out Upton 1 away. So this is reinforcement week for teams that are in the race, right? I mean, the Mets are reinforcing. They got Clippard, they got Johnson, they got Uribe, they brought up Conforto. The Washington Nationals, we mentioned, have acquired Jonathan Papelbon, but they're also activating their injured players. And tonight, they activated Jason Worth and Ryan Zimmerman just in time to face Jose Fernandez in Miami tonight.
Come on. Yeah, we can wait till tomorrow, can't we?
Oh, get him in there.
Yeah.
You need the bats against someone like that. I don't care if they've been on Rip Van Winkle.
Let's flip Uribe over to the right side of the infield against Yonder Alonso, who's hitting .342 lifetime against Mets pitching.
Boy, he shortened up a little bit, like he was looking like he was going to bunt, so got to be aware of that.
Hasn't hit for much power. Only 3 home runs in the season.
Well, hitting .283, .370 on base percentage, so he has had a nice consistent year, and most importantly, a healthy year. As the good fastball by Syndergaard, 1-1. Alonso in his 4th year with the Padres, and only the 2nd year he's been able to stay in the lineup also.
Well, he came back front row against the Mets.
Just missed, 2-1.
Syndergaard has that outside corner zeroed in, particularly right-handers and left-handers. He seems to really be right with it there. I mean, ahead of his years.
Duda behind the bag. Takes care of Alonso, 2 away.
Well, beautiful day, hot day. Hope you all stayed cool. Well, it got fooled by the off speed here, and it served its purpose well, did it not?
Right off the end of the bat.
Got him out in front.
That's why they play him to pull. Here's Derek Norris with 2 out and nobody on. Norris hitting .229 with power.
Norris had a good series against the Mets in San Diego also.
Hit a home run against Syndergaard in that game Noah pitched. Hit .270 last year for Oakland, so it has not been as good a year for him offensively after he got off to a fast start. But really, you look up and down this Padres lineup, and everybody's just been a little disappointing. It's not anybody having a glaringly bad year. It's just nobody quite having a career year, and everybody just a little bit below what they had hoped for.
I see a lot of 257s, Garrett. That's, you know,
yeah.
that's just.
But I mean, even with Shields tonight, he's not having a terrible year, but he's not having a good James Shields kind of year. And so the Padres are right in the middle of almost every category. 3-1 to Norris. Let's see, the 11th in runs scored. On the other side, their pitching is 9th in the league.
Next to last in batting average, so that pretty much tells you what's going on.
Look at the on-base percentage.
Yep.
And they strike out the 2nd most times of any team in the league.
Well, with 5 teams going to the post, and you are in the middle of the block in the 15-team league, that keeps you out.
That's interim manager Pat Murphy right there.
Took over for Bud Black. The results have not gotten better. They're 15-19 since Murphy took over. 3-2 to Norris, and he jams him and he pops it up. Duda takes charge, side retire. 6 up, 6 down for Noah Syndergaard to begin his night, and the Mets have a 2-0 lead in the 2nd. At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Michael Conforto's 4th game in the big leagues. And he takes just outside from James Shields. Conforto 4 for 9, 3 RBIs to start his big league career.
I've been observing Michael's every at bat, and it was very, very interesting to see how Dodgers starter Zach Greinke pitched him. He pitched him like he was a seasoned veteran, good hitter, and as he should, because he's got a good approach. I mean, he just didn't go after him like a rookie. Here's a fastball, see if you can hit it. He pitched him very tough.
Or it gets around quickly.
Yep.
After you go 4 for 4 with Greinke watching.
Although it cost him, he tried to pitch around all those hitters. Murphy intentionally walked. Duty pitched around, kind of got the Conforto and hit him, trying to pitch him extra tough.
With the second run against Greinke. 2-1 to Conforto. Neuenhuis and Plawecki to follow in the home second. And Conforto bounces one down to first, off the glove of Alonso, and Conforto's safe. Alonso giving ground and unable to snag it. And we'll see how they score it.
This should be an error, and I thought Alonso, who was not known for his glove, kind of a little nonchalant here. You know, when you're not a quality fielder, I think you just could be a little more, pay attention a little more.
And it will be an error charge to Alonso. That's only his 3rd error of the season. So the Mets have a leadoff base runner, and here's the red-hot Kirk Neuenhuis. You wouldn't know it from that batting average, but he's played 15 games for the Mets since he got back from his tour of Anaheim and Las Vegas, and he's hitting .371 since he's been back, with a .450 on base percentage and a .743 slugging percentage.
Hey, you know what they say? When you're at the table and you've got a run going, you run, you let it ride.
Well, here's the other thing.
I like to play the yo.
Here's the other thing that's happened since Neuenhuis has been back. 35 at bats, only 9 strikeouts, and that's huge for him.
It's huge for him, and the other thing, he's getting consistent playing time. That didn't happen earlier in the season. It's always been the case with Kirk. He just is not a bench kind of player. His stance is a little different. He's sitting down a little more. His hands are higher than they were before. 2 things that Terry Collins addressed this afternoon. Watch his hands, Keith, where they end up here. The pitcher's ready. Just there he goes.
Carl Yastrzemski.
Yeah.
What will that do for you?
It's a lot of movement and a lot of extra movement when your hands are up there. We know that Yaz did it, and that was his way he hit. I'm always reluctant to make drastic changes in hitting style. I see the one thing that I noticed that I've always thought would have been better, there's Kevin Long, the hitting coach, is that Neuenhuis is not as closed in his stance. He's a little open in his stance. Yeah. He's closed it up a little more.
Kirk hits a potential double play ball. Jerko gets the out at second. Amarista's relay is in time for the double play. Second double play in 2 innings turned by the Padres.
Well, I thought they were going to have a tough time turning this one with Neuenhuis' speed, but real quick feed from Jerko, right? Beautiful double play.
So Shields getting 2 double plays in the first 2 innings. And now Kevin Plawecki bats with 2 out and nobody on. It looks as though Travis d'Arnaud is going to be back this weekend. Travis has been playing out on rehab. Probably play tonight and tomorrow, and then they'll reassess on Thursday. And there's every chance that Travis will be here in time for the series with the Nationals starting on Friday. Pulled toward the hole, and Plawecki's got a 2-out hit. So last inning, Shields got the double play. Then Murphy singled and Duda homered. Now Plawecki with the 2-out hit.
And the Padre defense brought to you by Coors Light. The newcomers Upton and Kemp at the corner outfield positions. Big pickups that haven't panned out for the Pods. And on the infield, they've had some issues there. Jorko, they thought, was really going to be something special. He's had a difficult year. And, of course, Norris, who they picked up from the A's in the offseason.
Now Syndergaard, 5 hits, including a home run this year, hitting at even 200.
You know, when d'Arnaud comes back, I think Plawecki's swinging the bat the best he has all season. I think that's one of the reasons he might stay. And I think the other reason is when d'Arnaud comes back, it's not like you can catch him day in and day out, where he's going to catch 6 out of 7 days. He might be more of a 5-2 or 4-3 kind of guy, and Plawecki's your next best choice.
Well, I also think that at this point in the season, with Plawecki having played as many games as he had, and he started more games than any other Met catcher this year, it's not like you're going to inhibit his development to keep him here the last 2 months as the backup.
You could send him down, let him play every day, and get his stroke, and then call him up for September, and he's down a month. Call him up in September, and maybe he gets a hot bat.
You definitely could, but he is swinging the bat the best right now. But I know what you're saying. If he sits on the bench for a while,
I know. I just hate to see young players pining away on the bench. I know you don't agree with this, Garrett. That's fine.
Well, I just think that you're in a pennant race now, and you need your best players. And if you're going to have somebody catch 2 days a week, do you want it to be Plawecki or Recker?
Oh, Recker with Cologne.
Right. Bring him up just for Bart starts. Two and two to Syndergaard, with Plawecki at first. And he pulls one right to Alonso to retire the side. So a bullet off the bat of Syndergaard puts an end to the inning. But the Mets getting some good swings against James Shields. Well, when we come back, a little memorabilia session.
What does that say?
Batting champion.
Oh, hey. When the leaves turn brown, I'll be wearing the crown.
Baseball lends itself to memorabilia probably more than any other sport, and a lot of people are very into their own memorabilia, their collections, things that have a personal connection for them. And so we figured tonight maybe we do a little show and tell. Personally, I am not a big memorabilia person. I have very little, but I know you guys have collected some nice treasures from your years in the game.
Certainly did. I brought in one of my most prized possessions from my career. And there she blows, and that is the silver bat right there that is presented to the batting champion of both leagues. Has your batting average on it right there.
So this is not the Silver Slugger. This is something much better than that.
This is the other stuff is minuscule compared to this.
Okay, Jerko leads off in the third.
So I'm very proud of that. And that was the last year. That bat is around, Gary, you held it. That's about around 5 pounds, that bat?
It's very heavy. I don't think you'd want to try and swing it.
So it was the last year where it was a really heavy, and I think they kind of went to silver plate, and it wasn't as I can't think of the right word. I'm very proud of that. And you know, who would have thought that a son of a fireman, San Francisco fireman, growing up in Pacifica, would one day grow up to be a batting champion? You know, it's just one of the great things, great accomplishments.
And that's the same year you won your MVP award.
Yes.
Did you say how many ounces it were? Because I picked it up.
It's heavy.
Unbelievably heavy.
What do you think? It's around 10 pounds, 5 pounds, 8 pounds?
It's heavy.
It's heavier than 33 ounces.
Big time impressive.
Okay.
Alexi Amarista on deck. Then the pitcher James Shields in the third. And the curveball got him. Jerko strikes out, the third of the night for Syndergaard.
Well, he's thrown 3 or 4 real good curveballs. This is the best of the lot. See that tight spin? It's not a 12-6. It has a little bit. It's more like a slurve.
Yep.
But he throws it so hard.
Well, he establishes his fastball and he just mixes it in. It's going to get you.
Here's Alexi Amarista. He and Clint Barmas have played most of the shortstop for the Padres, and they haven't got much production out of that position. And what else did you bring for show and tell, Pete?
Well, you also get presented from Hillerich and Bradsby. That's the Louisville. That was Hillerich and Bradsby. You get a plaque that signifies that you are the batting champion. And very nice.
344. How many knocks do you have that year?
Whose picture is it?
It's
Bud Hillerich.
Oh, yeah, it is. And notice the blue ribbon. We've got the blue ribbon award right there.
What is the blue ribbon?
I'll show it again. You'll see the lower left, the blue ribbon.
Whenever I think of you in a blue ribbon, I think of Pabst. But,
that's the official seal, I would
Yes,
imagine.
it is. It is.
Easy ground ball for Murphy to handle. And it gets Amarista 2 out.
I'm going to bring some more stuff in, tomorrow.
Well, as we go on through the year, we should probably do this every once in a while because there's some things I have that I couldn't find that are in storage. But the one thing I did bring in for you folks, Mets fans maybe know that I was traded in 1991. Started my year when I was traded in '82. But after I was traded, this was sent to my home. Dear Ron, as a Mets fan and one of your fans, I was very sorry to see you traded to Montreal. You had a great career with the Mets, but you suffered from lack of support and too many no-decision games, which should have ended up in the W column. I wish you the best in Montreal, except when you pitch against the Mets. Sincerely, Dick. Richard Nixon.
He signed it Dick.
He did.
That's outstanding.
He loved the '80 Mets.
Yes.
Just came to a lot of games, and I don't know why I've kept it other than I don't have any. I don't have any letters from the president. There it is.
Yep. I have around 4 letters from him that I just couldn't find. I don't know where the heck I put them. So I'll rustle them up. But he was hugely involved.
He was a constant presence at Shea Stadium.
Well, you remember what he did with the Washington Redskins when he was president? He was telling.
He called a play.
He was trying to tell George Allen how to run the. One of his letters to me was he was writing about Sid should skip the rotation in Wrigley if the wind's blowing out. He's a fly ball pitcher. I said, well, yes, Mr. President.
I'm just happy he didn't suggest any solutions for you to take care of that lack of run support, Ronnie, because
you never know.
Well, he had a lot of plans. Shields strikes out. 3 perfect innings for Noah Syndergaard. He's fan 4. Syndergaard on top of his game, and the Mets have a 2-0 lead in the third. More memorabilia coming up. Our audio guy Greg Calvin brought in the Mike Piazza nesting dolls. I like the differing uniforms on the nesting doll. Our graphics guy John DeMarsico brought in his college baseball team photo, and that is Russell Wilson in the photo with him.
Wow.
They played together in college.
Cool.
So everybody's got different stuff.
Yeah,
that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Curtis Granderson leads off the home third and takes a strike from James Shields. Granderson singled to the left center, kind of right through the vacated shortstop hole, and the Padres are playing the same defense this time with no shortstop. Looks like Granderson was trying to take one the other way again. That's 0-2. Shields has given up 4 hits in the first 2 innings. He's gotten 2 double plays. And now Solarte moves back to that shortstop spot. And Granderson takes the curveball in the dirt, 1-2. And now Solarte and Amaris to switch positions. Sometimes you just can't figure out what's going on out there.
Bob Fosse would have had a tough time trying to get these guys in the right position.
It's like defensive coordinators bringing in different packages for different downs. That's right into the shift. Jerko's got a tough play to make, and scooped by Alonso just in time. And they get the out.
Well, Granderson's always hustling, and the big hustle double to win that ball game against the Dodgers to salvage the split the other day on Sunday. Just almost beats it out.
That was a good pick there.
Yes, it was. I couldn't have done it better myself.
Been easier. You're left-handed.
Oh, that's right. Forgot.
So 1 out and nobody on. That Tejada, who on a hit and run play grounded into a double play his first time up. You don't see that very often, but he hit it right at the second base bag, right between the legs of Shields, who tried to knock it down and couldn't.
But it's the little things that you can do with the offense on a 3-2 count. You can send Granderson. Tejada's going to make contact. Didn't work out, but it's the right play.
Shields took an odd step and twisting his arm after that last pitch.
He was unhappy. The curveball was way out of the strike zone. He was scolding himself.
Curveball pulled foul.
So there's the example here where you throw the curveball too far outside and the pitcher makes an adjustment. That's when he can make a mistake. He over adjusts.
But it's also the pitcher walking around. I can't believe I threw that curveball so bad. I'll never throw that again. Oh, here it is, next pitch.
So you're saying some of it's for show.
Oh, it's gamesmanship.
Daniel Murphy waiting on deck. 92. That's about where Shields is topped out tonight. I've seen 193, but he's not throwing quite as hard as he did in his heyday with the Rays.
Used to have a little better breaking ball also, but he still is such a gutty pitcher.
Pulled over the bag. That's a fair ball for Tejada. That'll go all the way down into the corner. And Tejada into second base with a 1-out double. His 16th double of the year. Boy, Rubin's swinging the bat well right now.
Well, he's staying in the at-bats. He's fouling off tough pitches. That ball didn't sink. It stayed flat, and he just got the barrel out nicely.
The trouble with the right-hander throwing the right-handed changeup to a right-handed hitter is if you don't keep it outside, if it's inside, they're going to be able to hit that down the line.
So now Shields faces Murphy with a runner in scoring position. Shields' last 5 starts coming into tonight, the opponents were 1 for 26 with runners in scoring position. That's why he's been on a positive roll lately. He's been getting the big outs when he's needed them. Murphy hits the curveball to right field, chasing Kemp back, and he makes the catch. Tagging at second is Tejada. He'll go to third. That ball fooled Kemp a little bit, and he was fortunate to get the glove up and grab it.
I almost think maybe he got it in the lights a little bit, Garrett, late. I mean, he's got it tracked here. Nah, he had it all the way. He's got it.
Kind of took his eyes off it and closed his eyes, though, as he caught it.
So Tejada now at third with 2 out. Lucas Duda, who hit one 456 feet into the seats in center field his first time up, comes to bat with 2 out.
That was the pitch.
0-2 pitch and hit it out of sight.
And that was the pitch that Shields probably should have thrown instead of the 0-2 bomb he threw up there, that fastball in.
Well, we're going to get to more of our memorabilia next half inning, but our Toyota tweet of the game, we want you to tell us what's your favorite piece of baseball memorabilia that you have and why it's significant to you. Use the hashtag SNY tweet and join the conversation. Shields being very careful to do. Finds the outside corner with a 2-0 changeup.
This is, if you're a smart hitter, Uribe on deck. This is almost like a pitch around by Shields. He does not want to give Duda anything to hit.
He hits it hard, but Alonso there to grab it, and that retires the side. So a double for Tejada. He's left stranded. We go to the 4th at Citi Field with the Mets up 2-0. Watching their hero pitch against the Padres. We've been showing memorabilia. Sometimes you collect memorabilia yourself, and sometimes it comes to you.
You know, what's so amazing is that usually I have people that come by and have something they want me to autograph. I had this about a month ago, Gary. I remember I showed you, and someone came up to me and wanted me to sign this picture. So I started to sign it, not paying attention, and then I looked at it and I saw that it was me and my son. I never saw this picture, never had it before. He had an extra one. It was so nice, and the fan gave it to me, and I put it in my scorebook, and it's fantastic. My oldest son Tyler is now 28 years old.
He's what, 2 years old?
2 years old there. So I'll have it forever in my scorebook. So it's cool.
Well, Venable leading off in the 4th inning against Syndergaard, who's retired 9 in a row to start his night. Venable struck out to open the game. 7th time in 14 starts that Syndergaard has struck out his first batter of the night. One-two. Hit right back to Syndergaard, who snags the soft liner for the first out. So our director tonight, Dan Barr, when he was a kid, he was an Oakland A's fan, and right before the first game of the 1989 World Series, he got this batting glove from Rickey Henderson. Dan was 7 years old at the time. He wore it every day, and then one day his mom put it in the laundry, and that's how it curled up into a claw.
That's great, though.
Dan has never been the same ever since.
Well, think about it, though. I think anyone who's played baseball and had a good batting glove that happened to you, know why it was in the washing machine? Because you didn't take it out of your pocket. But I mean, it happens, and you're like, Mom, you gotta be kidding me.
Now, as I said, I've never been a memorabilia guy, but when I was 9 years old, I think I've told you this before, my favorite player was Bud Harrelson. So I sent away to wrote a letter to Bud Harrelson asking for an autographed picture, and I got this back in the mail.
You sent it back.
It's an autographed picture of Bud Harrelson, and I had a frame when I was a kid. It used to be on my bulletin board, so it's got a little hole in the top of it. But yeah, so it's
cool.
my autographed picture of my hero, Bud Harrelson.
Wow. I just saw Buddy yesterday. Tim Tuffle had a golf tournament. Buddy was there. He looked fantastic, by the way. And he was giving me a tutorial on how I should talk about how to teach the guys how to bunt. It was great. He was full of fire.
1-2 to Solarte. Got him looking. Strikeout number 5 for Syndergaard. He's now retired the first 11.
Well, this is what you'd like to see. Keith, you were talking about he was painting the outside corner. Now he's starting to work the inside part of the plate.
What's he complaining about in this call? Had plenty of plate and knees. I mean, what do you do when you're an umpire and you got a 247 hitter up there moaning and groaning at a pitch? It's a strike. It's like, go grab some pine.
So now Syndergaard faces Matt Kemp, who was caught looking his first time up, and he throws him a curveball for a strike.
Well, this is a lineup that has been struggling, and Syndergaard right now is on all 8 cylinders.
Curveball popped up near that short fence. Duda goes out to get it. Nice play, Lucas Duda. 4 perfect innings for Noah Syndergaard, the furthest he's gone into a start without giving up a hit. Fourth inning, Juan Uribe leads off against James Shields and hits one in the air to center field. Well, Venable is there. One pitch and one out for Shields in the fourth. Let's check in with Steve Gelbs, whose report tonight is brought to you about Land Rover. Steve?
Well, Gary, we've been bringing in our memorabilia, so I brought in a couple pieces myself. And the first thing that I brought, one of the coolest pieces I have, is a signed ball from Tom Seaver. Got it when I was about 3 or 4 years old. My grandfather was actually Seaver's dry cleaner in Greenwich Avenue, best ever cleaners. My uncle still runs it now. And he had him sign a baseball. It says, "To little Steven, with best wishes, Tom Seaver." And, Tom was actually a really good customer of my grandfather's. And my grandfather always likes to tell the story about one time he had a good friend that was a huge Seaver fan. And he said he didn't believe my grandfather that he knew Tom Seaver. So Seaver told my grandfather, "Come out to Shea, come before the game, come out into left field where I do my running, and I'll come by, I'll say hello, and you can introduce me to your friend." So he did it one day, brought him down, and Seaver's running around outside and looks up at my grandfather. My grandfather shouts out, "Hey, Tom, it's Ron from Best Ever." Looks at him, totally looks away, actually, like he's never known him before in his life, joking with him. So he comes back around a second time after my grandfather's friend has given him a lot of grief for it. And my grandfather said that he said to Seaver, "Hey, if you don't acknowledge me the next time you get a shirt, it's not going to have any sleeves on it." So Seaver comes back around, he starts laughing, he threw him a baseball, and that's the story my grandfather loves to tell about him.
Just admit you shrunk the shirt.
That's what it is.
By the way, Steve, I didn't know we had this much in common. My grandfather was also in the dry cleaning business.
Oh, wow.
Is
that right?
But did not have Tom Seaver as a customer. Conforto hits one toward the middle. Jerko runs around it and throws him out. 2 away.
I guess Seaver was satisfied with my grandfather.
I guess he didn't have to move on. I guess the sleeves never came off the shirt. You also have a baseball card story, Steve?
Yeah, I do. This is actually, this was something that means a really great deal to me. My father, I had no way of knowing this, but when I was born, he did this for me and my 2 brothers as well. He bought the entire Topps complete baseball card set from that year and didn't tell us about it until we turned 18. That was our 18th birthday present. So I have the whole set from 1987. And I went back, I was looking through it yesterday, and there's some great Mets in that 1987 set, including Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez, Tim Tuffle. So, looking through that yesterday was pretty cool to now consider that I'm working with you guys. That was pretty special to look through.
You know the most amazing part about that story? We're working with someone who was born in 1987.
Well,
I was waiting for you to catch that one.
I just showed the picture of my son Tyler and me. Tyler born in 1987. Craziness.
Newman has grounded into a double play his first time, and he swings through. And I've got one more piece for you. Speaking of 1987, I've got this thing, and I don't know where it came from. I don't know how I got it, but this is a Keith Hernandez something or other figurine. It's got a little signature on the bottom. And Jerko throws out Neuenhuis, but Keith, I thought you'd really enjoy this. This is you in all your glory.
Look at that glove. I did not sign off on that one.
nice mitt there, college boy.
I'm sure you signed this personally too, right? Latest Mets trade news and rumors, plus a complete breakdown of tonight's Mets-Padres game on Mets blog, presented by Citi, part of the SNY.TV blog network. Noah Syndergaard has faced 12 batters, retired them all. Justin Upton will be the first man to face him in the fifth. Mets with a 2-0 lead. Upton, Alonso, and Norris. Upton grounded out to third base his first time up. Justin and his brother Melvin Jr. both with the Padres now. Melvin missed a big chunk of the beginning of the season, but he is strictly in a backup role these days.
Well, oh boy, Syndergaard in his last start faced 24 hitters, only 11 first pitch strikes. Whole different story tonight.
He walked 5, which was very much against type. Murphy not happy with some of C.B. Buckner's calls, but that's usually the case.
CB is very erratic. Need the super chicken to come with an eye chart.
And Upton tries to hold, and he did. Dale Scott gave him a pass, 1-2. Boy, we've seen much less than that called a strike, haven't we?
And I don't think he swung. I think it was the right call. So you're right, Gary.
Curveball got him. Strikeout number 6 for Syndergaard.
Well, he's got it all working so far, folks. Fastball on the corners and the knees. Breaking ball on the corner, off the corner when he's ahead. This is as polished a game I've seen Syndergaard throw so far, and he's had some real good ones.
Here's Yonder Alonso, grounded out to Duda his first time up. Syndergaard got him to roll over on a changeup. Mets up the full shift on against him again. Tejada alone on the left side. Uribe playing to the right of second base, and Murphy out in the triangle. Changeup on the inside corner, 1-1.
88-mile-an-hour changeup.
When you get a hitter out on a certain pitch, is there a tendency sometimes as a young pitcher to overuse that pitch?
You go to the well too often. Absolutely. Little quandary here now. First time, 2-1. Got a 2-0 lead. Got to go after him.
And he misses in. Now it's 3-1. Second 3-ball count of the night for Syndergaard. He went 3-2 on Derek Norris. Actually fell behind him 3-0 in the second inning, and then got him to pop up. And Alonso lifts one to left, easy for Conforto. 2 out. 14 up and 14 down for Noah Syndergaard. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Due to home run, by the way, the longest ever hit by a Met at Citi Field. 456 feet.
Well, he certainly has the strength and that capability. He can hit him further if he really connects.
Derek Norris popped up to Duda his first time up. Only once this year has a Met pitcher been perfect through 5 innings, and that was against the Padres. Jacob deGrom retired the first 15 in San Diego before Clint Barmas broke it up with a 6th inning single. And quickly ahead on Norris, 0-2.
What's he looking for? I mean, you're going to get fastballs.
Padres are still trying to eyeball Syndergaard, and he's just being aggressive and going right through him.
0-2. A little bit high. Well, this is a different Syndergaard than the one they saw the first time. He went only 4 innings, gave up 10 hits, 7 runs.
If you notice, though, every pitch has a purpose. You know, if he's called for outside, it's outside. If it's called for up, he throws it up. Breaking ball away, maybe off the strike zone, like he threw to Upton.
I remember that start, Gary. I was watching on TV. They hurt him on his breaking ball.
Norris hit a 2-run home run on a breaking ball.
He's inside, just missed. 97 miles an hour.
Nice try.
Grab a little rosin. And all the kids on their feet. Cool.
Two-two to Derek Norris. Curveball bounced to short. And Tejada makes the play. 5 perfect innings for Noah Syndergaard. 15 up, 15 down. Halfway through, 2-0 New York. Through 5, Lucas Duda, a tape measure home run. And that's it tonight, unless you count all the side stories. Henry Mejia suspended for 162 games for his second violation of the PED rules. The arrival of Tyler Clippard. David Wright worked out on the field today before the game. That was big news. Kevin Plawecki leads off the home fifth. Plawecki had a base hit his first time up.
I'm almost getting the feeling, Gary, with these PEDs, if they're second offenders, you're done. You do it once, it's egregious enough. Adios. No 3 strikes, you're out.
Well, if he does it again, he is out. Third violation now is lifetime suspension. But, you know, as far as Mejia is concerned, as far as the Mets are concerned, I mean, you have to figure he's never going to throw another pitch for them, right? I mean, Sandy Alderson wouldn't rule it out today when he talked about it, but, I mean, once bitten, twice shy, right? Plawecki hits it out to left center. And Upton gets over to get it.
What was interesting is I think the Mets had more anger after the first time he was suspended, and this time just, I mean, when we heard it, we couldn't believe it.
No, I could not believe it. No, you're right.
Well, Tyler Clippard essentially takes Mejia's spot, although listening to Sandy Alderson today, he basically said the deal for Clippard was in place when the Mets found out yesterday that the news on Mejia and his suspension was coming. So it wasn't as though the Mets went out to get Clippard to replace Mejia. They thought they were strengthening an area that was already doing pretty well. But now, essentially, it's a 1-for-1. 1-1 to Syndergaard, who lined out to the first baseman his first time up, and now they say he went around on that half swing, so it's 0-2. What puzzles me is if you get busted for using an old school steroid, which is what Mejia got busted for in April. As Syndergaard goes down on strikes, what would possess a player to go back and use again unless he felt he just could not compete without it? Right?
Could not compete without it, or given some bad information that there was a mask for what he was going to do. I mean, that's the only way. And both are not very smart.
By mask, you mean a masking agent?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, it's a shame we have to have this conversation. And, and you look at the Post, the front page of the Post today, on the back page, Mr. Clean, A-Rod, that shadow's always going to be over, and it's a darn shame. There's always going to be that cloud.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned A-Rod because he and Mejia are now the only two players who've ever gotten 162 game suspensions for PEDs. Granderson's 1 for 2 today. Takes low and in.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, what I hate is that I can sit here and say, I've never done any steroids. But you know what? How can you believe it? How can you believe anybody? Right. And that's what makes me angry. Is that everyone gets lumped in with these nitwits.
Gary, your opinion on this? Which is the worst offense in baseball history? The Black Sox scandal or the steroids?
Well, I think you're talking about two completely different eras.
If you had to put one on top,
I'd have to think about that.
Okay.
Alonso makes the play. 8 in a row retired by Shields. Syndergaard's retired the 15. He goes back to the mound when we come back. Minute info on the latest MLB trade rumors on Daily News Live, presented by Citi, tomorrow at 5, only on SNY. Road Ahead brought to you by Buick. Mets have 2 more with the Padres, including a noon game on Thursday. Then the Nats come in for 3 games. Don't forget Sundays is now a Sunday night game, 8 o'clock. Then the Mets go to Miami and Tampa Bay next week. Well, Noah Syndergaard's faced 15 and he's retired 15. They'll face Jed Jerko, the number 7 hitter, to lead off in the 6th inning. That's with a 2-0 lead. And Jerko takes the curveball high for ball 1. Jerko struck out his first time up. Amarista and Shields to follow. 71 pitches through 5 for Syndergaard. Not high, but high enough. One thing I can tell you today is that no matter what happens in this game, Noah Syndergaard will not be throwing 134 pitches.
Yes.
One to Jerko. Sinks one in on his hands and he fouls it off. One-two coming. And the curveball bounces 2-2. Jerko lines one off Syndergaard's glove, but right to Murphy, who's there to make the play for the 1-4-3 putout. Well, that is the closest that the Padres have come tonight to getting a base runner.
Fastball away, stayed in. I think Murph had it covered if he didn't get a glove on it. He was playing up the middle.
But still deflected, and it deflects in such a way that it's not slowed down enough or not caromed in the wrong direction that it becomes a base hit.
So 16 in a row retired by Syndergaard. One out now. Alexi Amarista, and he grounds one for Murphy. Spinorama, 2 out. So now Shields will bat for the second time. He was struck out his first time up. Shields not an automatic out. Lifetime 191 hitter coming into the day, so Noah can't afford to let down in this spot. This is the furthest any Met has gone with a perfect game this season. 5 2/3. Shields swings through the 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Boy, I tell you what, every day, every fifth day, he brings that fastball with him. And he's the one that keeps it at that 98, 97 throughout.
Well, it's his 14th major league start, but something has really kicked in for Syndergaard over the last month. And he is pitching at a much higher level, and everybody recognizing tonight what's going on.
Watch this arm go back. And then right to his ear. And the long stride. And off that stiff front leg. That's a lot of upper body power.
Curveball struck him out. 6 perfect innings for Noah Syndergaard. He struck out 7. 18 up, 18 down. Stay tuned.
Gary by Verizon. Who led the Mets in doubles during the 2000 season, Gary?
Doubles. 2000 season. Give that one some thought. Noah Syndergaard cool on his heels. 6 perfect innings under his belt. 2-0 lead since the first when Lucas Duda hit a 2-run homer off James Shields. Shields has settled in to retire 8 in a row since Ruben Tejada doubled in the third. He fouls it off. Well, let's see. What are the choices? You had Piazza, you had Alfonso, you had Todd Zeile, who I'm thinking might be the guy.
You had the outfield that was kind of funky outfield.
Wasn't any of the outfielders.
No.
I mean, those are basically the choices. It's either Piazza, Alfonso, or Zeile. Tejada hits one down the right field line. Kemp to the sidewall and then runs out of room. I'm going to say Todd Zeile.
Yeah,
that's my guess. It's a guess. I really have no idea.
You're going with the not the front runner. I would think it would be Alfonso, Piazza, and Zeile would be that order, only because Piazza's doubles usually go, you know what I mean, like when he hits it.
You know, the funny thing that I remember from that season is in the league championship series against the Cardinals. It was game 3, I think, at Shea. I think the Mets had like 5 doubles in the first inning.
Oh wow!
It might have been 5 straight doubles in the first inning, something crazy like that. Tejada's 1 for 2 tonight. A double down the left field line in the third. And Shields goes up and away 1-2. Murphy and Duda to follow for the Mets in the 6th. Shields has gotten great run support this year, but not lately. They've averaged 4.8 runs in his starts, 3.6 in all their other games. But here's the thing about the Padres. They have been shut out 14 times already this year. Their pitchers have thrown 2 shutouts, and they've been shut out 14 times.
Kershaw, Greinke, Bumgarner.
Out to right center. Plenty of room for Venable. 1 out. You can win VIP tickets to Jets training camp in Florham Park. Don't miss your chance to get front row seats to all the competition and position battles as the Jets gear up for the 2015 season. Visit Facebook.com/SNY and enter today. Here's Murphy, who singled and scored in front of Duda's home run in the first inning, then lined out to right field in his second at bat. So Murph's hit the ball hard twice. Murph has had some really good at bats since the competition landed in town 3 days ago, if you know what I mean. Gauntlet was laid down by the manager, and Murph has responded. Tomorrow night, game 2 of this series, Bartolo Colon against Tyson Ross. Our coverage begins tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right here on SNY. Changeup misses 1-1. There are your city probables. Thursday, the early day game. John Neese back from paternity leave goes up against Andrew Cashner. By the way, Neese was reactivated today, and the Mets send Logan Verrett down.
So the weekend series against the Nationals kind of gets the Mets big 3 against the Nats.
Yep, should be DeGrom, Harvey, and Syndergaard.
Darn right.
2 Ross brothers this week.
That's right. We saw Joe Ross in D.C. Probably see him again this weekend. Tyson Ross tomorrow. One, 2 to Murph. Jumps back. 2-2. You know that Daniel Murphy's now 3rd in the National League in intentional walks. Only Harper and Goldschmidt have been intentionally walked more than Daniel Murphy. It's kind of a quirky number, right? Out to left center, and Venable is there. 2 out. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com.
Thumb ball. Oops.
You had to show that one.
Now Duda, who parked one of the seats just to the right of center field, his first time up, his 15th home run, which gave the Mets the early 2-0 lead that has stood to this point.
Oh, he's behind the count. Trying to come inside, didn't get it there, and Lucas hit a bomb. Make you smile.
456 feet by one measure, 462 feet by another, but you know that's just splitting hairs. It was a long way.
I'll go with 456, easier to remember. Good breaking ball, pulled the string on Lucas.
And fastball in for a strike, 1-2. Well, Shields has retired 10 in a row. He struck out only one batter tonight, which is really odd for him. He came into the night third in the National League in strikeouts, 10.2 strikeouts per 9 innings, but only one through 5 2/3 tonight. Juan Uribe would be next. And Duda goes down swinging on the curveball. Second strikeout of the night for Shields. He's retired 11 straight, but that pales in comparison to what Noah Syndergaard has done tonight. 18 up and 18 down, and he takes them out for the 7th in a moment. It's Free Shirt Friday. All fans in attendance will receive a Mets graphic T-shirt, courtesy of Budweiser. For tickets, visit Mets.com/FreeShirtFridays. Third time around the batting order for Noah Syndergaard has been perfect so far tonight. Will Venable leads off the 7th and hits one right back up the middle for the Padres. First hit of the night. So 18 up, 18 retired, but Venable busts that up with a first pitch base hit to start the 7th.
Nice.
I just think when I see this good young pitching, as you see the first hit go on the board, you're talking about the people that have developed them in the minor leagues. You're talking about Dan Worthen and their staff when they get to the major leagues. But even more important, the hard work that these young guys are putting in, and it's paying dividends. They're getting better exponentially. over each start.
I love, there's the base hit right here. Down, left-hand hitter, of course. And I just like, he's upset, but he's right back. I love his focus. Syndergaard, I like his demeanor on the mound. Way ahead of his years running.
Well, now he's got to pitch off the stretch for the first time to Yangervis Solarte. Comebacker past the mound. Nice play to Tejada, but as he tries to flip it behind the back, he misses, and the runner goes to third. Venable never stopped coming around second. Tejada trying to make a circus play and flip that ball behind his back with his glove and did not come close to getting it to Murphy.
That could be an error right here on the throw, Gary, to advance the runner to the third. That should be an error.
Should be a base hit and an error.
His intent was to try to flip, and Venable runs well and heads up, goes to third. I'm going to put an E.
It will be an error in allowing Venable to advance. An infield hit for Solarte. So first and third and nobody out, and all of a sudden Padres have the tying runs on base in a 2-0 game in the heart of the batting order coming up. So the story flips quickly for Syndergaard. Now in a must-out situation against Kemp, who struck out and fouled out. And he takes low for ball one.
Well, these are always the problems with these games. Your own team only has 2 points on the board. You're thinking of being perfect, and then when that goes off the board, all of a sudden you have to worry about the outcome of the game.
Justin Upton waiting on deck. And now he's behind on Kemp. 2-0. Time for a visit.
Well, lucky. I'm interested that Worthen has not gone out there, and the other thing that someone's not warming up. This can get away from you very quickly on a hot, humid night.
Now Kemp with a 2-0 advantage. Rare time Syndergaard's been behind, and Kemp pops it up. There's a huge out for Syndergaard as Murphy waits for it. One away.
Up out of the strike zone.
Kemp spiking the bat after popping that ball up.
Ball 3.
So Syndergaard now a double play away from getting out of the inning as he faces Upton, who's grounded out and struck out tonight. Isn't it amazing? Twice in 5 days we've seen a pitcher carry a perfect game into the 7th. Kershaw last Thursday. Granderson broke it up leading off the 7th. Same fate for Syndergaard here. And the curveball off the plate to Upton, ball 1.
He has such a good curve, going back to that bad bat to Kemp. Fell behind 1-0 through his third pitch, his changeup. He's got a really, really good breaking ball today.
Venable at third, Solarte at first with 1 out. And Upton gets a double play ball right at Tejada. Murphy with the turn. Double play, side retired. Syndergaard gives up a couple of base runners. Gets out of the inning unscathed. 7 scoreless for Syndergaard, 2-0 New York. Home 7th inning. Juan Uribe leads off against James Shields. Mets with a 2-0 lead. Shields has retired 11 straight. And Uribe hits a comebacker, but right past Shields, and it goes up the middle. And a base hit for Uribe. Looked like a ball Shields was going to handle. He's very upset with himself that he didn't. And Uribe has a leadoff hit. The Mets' 6th hit of the night.
High ball hitter. Belt, that's his pitch. And that's one of those balls you think is hit harder than it really was, and you overreact.
So Uribe making his first start as a Met. Now 3 for 7 in the Mets uniform. And a chance for the Mets to add to their 2-0 lead with Michael Conforto coming up. Conforto's hit the ball on the ground twice, reached on an air, grounded out. Sean Kelly, first man up in the Padres bullpen. Syndergaard retired 18 in a row. Shields retired 11 in a row. You don't see that too often. Double-digit hitters retired by both pitchers. And Conforto 4 for 11 in his brief big league career. And he takes a fastball on the corner, 1-1.
Gary, I've always thought in some of these tight games where great things are happening, sometimes the other pitcher being excellent also helps you. You know, the ball game moves quickly. See if Conforto makes an adjustment here. Shields wants to get him out with the changeup, Keith.
Keeps the fastball away from him, 1-2.
Wanted to pull that one instead of getting it over that shortstop and left center field gap. Let's watch him 2-strike hit here.
Takes the changeup, spits on it, 2-2. Well, the Marlins have put up 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. That goes to the 7th now, with the Nats down 3-1. Washington 2 games up on the Mets starting the night. A busy day for them as well. Conforto gets another changeup, and this time takes it for a call, 3rd strike.
Backdoor slider, Gare, and I thought it was a ball low.
Ball's down. Did you see Conforto?
He's got
like, what?
You got to keep your mouth shut when you're a rookie, right? Cannot be. Good balance on the take.
Certainly appeared low. 3rd strikeout of the night for Shields. 1 out of the 7th. Now Neuenhuis. And Kirk hits one to left center, but Venable playing over that way, able to grab it for the 2nd out.
All right, Gary, we're back at you. This is the Stump Gary Verizon question. Who led the Mets in doubles during the 2000 season? You're saying Todd Zeile. You're staying with it.
That was a guess, and I'm sticking with it.
All right. Oh, all right. Well, you were.
So it was the more obvious answer.
Right.
You know, I figured that it wasn't going to be the obvious guy, so I double thought it. Came up empty.
It's called double thinking.
That's exactly right.
Gary, don't worry. We're still behind you 100%.
For now, Keith. Here's Plawecki, who singled and flied out, 1 for 2. By the way, Zeile had 36 doubles that year, so it wasn't far off. The referee just filled me in. I think he was trying to make me feel better.
Did it look like 36 when you read it?
I had to turn the paper upside down to be sure. 93 pitches for Shields, and Plawecki drills one foul. Does Shields, by the way, stop in his set?
Sometimes he does and sometimes he doesn't. The whole thing is that he has this kind of corkscrew move that he gets into position, but his hands kind of still move a little bit as he generates momentum, but he does it every single time. But you're supposed to come to a full stop.
That's a stop. He's been a workhorse. 8 straight years over 200 innings. Last 4 years over 225 innings. Unheard of these days.
And he left a little legacy behind in Kansas City. It was a big part of the rejuvenation of that franchise.
And he strikes out Plawecki to end the inning. So Shields works around the leadoff hit in the home 7th. Syndergaard heads back to the mound for the 8th, still with the 2-0 lead. Proud partner of the New York Mets. By State Farm, today's State Farm agent of the game is Hector Camillo of the Bronx. Contact Hector at HectorCamillo.com. And by Hyundai, get in your comfort zone with the most advanced Elantra yet. Visit your Hyundai dealer today. Noah Syndergaard has been nothing short of brilliant tonight. Retired the first 18, gave up a couple of hits, had an error made behind him in the 7th. First and third, nobody out, was able to get out of it. Working on a 2-hit shutout as we start the 8th. Yonder Alonso leads off. He's grounded out and flied out 0 for 2. Let's put on the shift against Alonso, who showed bunt earlier in the game, so they keep Tejada in position where he could field the bunt. And the newest Met, Tyler Clippard, is up getting ready in case Syndergaard needs help in the 8th. Back-to-back changeups, and he falls behind 2-0. Alonso, Norris, and Jerko for the Padres in the 8th. And now 3-0. Second time tonight, Syndergaard's fallen behind 3-0. He hasn't walked anybody after walking 5 in his last start. There's a strike.
Sometimes the situation dictates what you throw. You win it by a couple of runs, you get behind a hitter, you just challenge him on that outside part. You hope he hits it to the big part of the park.
And Alonso hits a rocket just past the diving Murphy. And Alonso has a leadoff hit. By the way, Murphy's starting his first game at second base since June the 3rd. And he's been very involved in the action tonight. He came pretty close to this ball. Ball was a bullet.
Nice effort.
It would be a nice one to freeze and put over your mantle.
That's right.
One of the still photographers got a shot of that. That was beautiful. Here's Derek Norris, tying run at the plate in a 2-0 game. He's popped up and grounded out. Norris, a dangerous hitter, 11 home runs this year. And he breaks his bat, bloops one, Tejada back, and Murphy steps in front of him to grab it for the out. Tejada was calling for it, but Murphy likes to get involved. One away.
Someone's got to cover second base, and the veteran Juan Uribe alertly came and covered second.
So 1 out and 1 on. And now Jed Jerko, who struck out, and they hit the comebacker off Syndergaard's glove that deflected to Murphy, who threw him out. That kept Noah perfect in the 6th inning. Keith alluded to the disappointment Jerko's been. As a rookie in 2013, he hit 23 home runs, finished 6th in the Rookie of the Year balloting, and it has just gone miserably for him in the 2 years since. He spent 3 weeks in the minors last month.
Found him out.
Well, in fact, he had lost his second base job to Spangenberg when we were there in San Diego. And Spangenberg looked like a really good little player.
Got a little knee injury right now that's kept him on the sidelines. 97 pitches for Syndergaard with 1 out in the 8th. His high this year is 116. 0-2 to Jerko.
You're right, Keith. Here in the 8th, still throwing 97, 98 miles per hour.
He maintains the velocity throughout. He's a big, strong kid.
And who cares that it's hot? He's from Texas.
That's right.
It's hot there, I've heard. 1-2. And a curveball. Jerko lays off 2-2. Syndergaard has twice gotten through 8 innings this year. He did it against the Reds in a 2-1 win, and against the Diamondbacks in a 4-2 win. Trying to get through 8 for a 3rd time. About to throw his 100th pitch of the night. Alonso at first and 1 out. And Jerko just got a piece of the curveball.
That was the first one he hung a little bit. We showed the graphic earlier in the game. He loves home cooking, doesn't he, Noah Syndergaard? His numbers so drastic here at Citi Field as opposed to on the road.
1.74 at home, 4.34 on the road. Doesn't matter where he's pitched lately. He's just been in a great groove. Jerko stays alive. Got the number 8 hitter Alexi Amarista on deck. You see those home road numbers. Joaquin Benoit up in the Padres bullpen.
Might be his last week in a Padre uniform.
Say that about just about anybody on this team. Again, the 2-2. And again, Jerko able to foul off the fastball. So he's given a good accounting of himself here against Syndergaard, who has been dominant all night. Alonso at first and 1 out. 8th pitch of the at bat coming to Jed Jerko. Got him looking. Strikeout number 8 for Syndergaard. 2 out.
3 straight fastballs, and this has got right down the middle and up.
To me, Keith, and I could be wrong, that's just a case of a hitter caught guessing.
Yep. 4-seamer, you see right there across the seam of the ball. And if you notice a little bit of the jet fuel coming out of that fastball, he's still doing it.
So now Syndergaard will get a chance to finish the 8th. Alexi Amarista the batter. And a fastball letter high for a strike. Amarista twice has grounded out to Murphy at second base. Brett Wallace, the former Astro, is out on deck to pinch hit if Amarista can keep the inning going. And the curveball just missed. 1-1.
the same pitch that was thrown to Conforto, maybe even a better pitch that was called by C.B. Buckner.
Amarista foul tips the fastball, and it's 1-2. Struck him out. Perhaps the final act of the night for Syndergaard. 9 strikeouts in 8 scoreless innings. What a performance. Last of the 8th, Mets looking for some insurance against James Shields, who has a chance for the rare National League complete game loss. Juan Lagares batting for Syndergaard, leads off and takes curveball for a strike. Lagares, who has been relegated to bench duty the last few days with Neuenhuis's hot streak, will probably stay in to play defense in the 9th inning.
It's just like Sunday's game here 2 days later.
And Familia is getting ready in the Mets bullpen, hoping to wipe away his memories of Sunday. You know what's fascinating? We've mentioned a few times that Familia 0 for 2 in save opportunities since the All-Star break, 4 blown saves on the year. The Mets have won the game every time he's blown a save this year.
That's amazing. It really is. 4 games the opposite way. There's David Wright.
Captain was out on the field today taking ground balls, taking some batting practice. There's a possibility David could be in rehab games as early as next week, which is remarkable. He apparently was doing more than we thought in California in terms of getting some baseball activities under his belt. He was out in a Little League field. Somebody asked him, did you get recognized? He said, I haven't been away that long.
Didn't he hit in some like public cages or something?
I think the Mets, if they can get anything out of David Wright this year, they'll be thrilled. More immediately on the agenda is Travis d'Arnaud's return. That should happen this weekend. And that would be a big boost. And if David could come back sometime later in August or in September, that would be even better. Lagares takes one the other way down the line. Fair ball. Bounding around in the corner, kept trying to play it, and Lagares pulls him at second base with a leadoff double. How about that, huh? Struggling hitter, relegated to bench duty, and gets a big pinch hit.
Goes the other way. Something that Terry Collins has said that Lagares got away from, and I agree. So that's what he needs to do. That's his strength.
Pat Murphy, the Padre manager, on his way to the mound. And he's going to go to the bullpen right now. So Shields is out of the game after 7 innings plus. Mets with a 2-0 lead and bidding for insurance. Call to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon. Christian Yelich adding an RBI single and giving the Marlins that 3-run lead over the Nats. Curtis Granderson bats with Lagares at second and nobody out against the new pitcher Sean Kelly, and takes a strike.
Well, Sean Kelly, the former Yankee, you can see his numbers on the season this year. Harded runner stranded, great number, loves his slider. That's his pitch. Gets lots of strikeouts on it, as you can see, 39 and 35 innings pitched.
Well, they've got the shift on against Granderson, but Amarista right near the bag at second, trying to keep Lagares as close as he can, and that kind of mutates the shift a little bit. Granderson hits one deep to right field, right down the line toward the Pepsi porch. It's out of here! Curtis Granderson, his 15th home run of the year. A 2-run shot to double the Mets lead. It's 4-0 Mets. Due to hit number 15 earlier tonight, now Granderson matches him.
Got a hanging slider, full extension right there, out over the plate, and that's the insurance runs that the Mets need, and Noah Syndergaard to even his record to 5-5 if the Mets hang on to this.
And meanwhile, in the Mets bullpen, it looks like Familia is going to sit down. So with the save situation gone, the Mets will save Familia for another day. And is that Clippard getting back up?
Yes, it's Clippard.
Might as well get his feet wet. 2-0 to Tejada. So Sean Kelly greeted rudely, and there is Tyler Clippard. Looks like he'll now get the 9th inning. Tejada pops one up into right, and Kemp right there. 1 out.
Well, here's the home run. Catcher set up away. Watch him come over the middle. Oh boy, yes sir. A hitter's delight. Curtis jumps all over that.
When you throw that spinner, it's not really a slider. For the hitters, it's almost like it's on a tee. It just sits right in front of them. It's so easy to hit.
Now Murphy is 1 for 3 on the night. And he slaps one toward third. Tough play. Nice pickup by Solarte, and he throws him out. That was a very difficult play for Solarte, and he made it look easy.
Well, there were 2 parts to this play, Gary, and the backhand was an in-between hop. Not an he came in and got the short hop. Beautiful. A nice throw running towards the third base dugout. Just a real fine play. Always always stay away from the in-between hop. He played the nice short hop there. Can't get a bad hop on a short hop.
Now Duda, who delivered the keynote tonight with a 2-run homer in the first inning, a major league blast to center field, his 15th of the year. Well, James Shields, final line, 7 innings plus, 3 runs, 6 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts, a home run, and on the hook for his 4th loss of the year. The Mets box score presented by Wise. Duda and Granderson with matching 2-run homers for each their 15th.
You don't say it out loud, but that look by Shields was nice move, Skip. I could have done that.
Well, also, you don't know, that could have been the last time he throws a pitch for the San Diego Padres. Right. And I think everybody on this team right now has to have the same feeling. I could be gone any minute. And I can't even imagine what that feels like as a player.
Well, I think this is not the effort. I shouldn't say that. But when you have a team in turmoil and a team that does not know what's going to happen from each day to the next, sometimes your team will get flat. And that's how the Padres have played tonight. Now, with a lot of help from Noah Syndergaard.
I mean, they come off a 3-game series sweep of the Marlins at home. They scored just 3 runs in each of those 3 games, but got great pitching and came in with a 3-game winning streak. But Syndergaard was great tonight.
They've looked kind of flat and lifeless, and they're an under 500 ball club for the year and on the road.
The first day of a 10-day road trip.
3-2 to Duda, and he grounds one into the shift. Jerko makes the play, and the side retired, but Curtis Granderson's 2-run homer gives the Mets some breathing room. 1 hanging slider, 1 swing, 1 souvenir on the Pepsi porch. We go to the 9th, 4-0 New York. Take on their National League East rivals, the Washington Nationals. It's fireworks night, which means after the game, all fans in attendance will be treated to a fantastic, it says here, fantastic fireworks show. Purchase tickets for fireworks night at Mets.com/fireworks.
Alliteration, Gary.
It's true. Kirk Nieuwenhuis comes into play left field, moves over from center. Juan Lagares stays in the center, and the Mets debut for 30-year-old Tyler Clippard.
Well, just has been such a workhorse. Has appeared in 70 games the last 5 seasons. It's the first batter faced, $125, and left-handed hitters he's owned his entire career.
Abraham Almonte, the switch-hitting outfielder, will pinch hit and bat left-handed. See, now, if you face a guy with splits like that, would you be tempted as a switch hitter to go up there from the other side?
Right, just like some guys with the knuckleball, right? Get away from his changeup.
And that's the deal for Clippard, who throws a fastball by Almonte 1-1. Lowest career average. This is against all hitters, and Clippard is #1 among active pitchers. Presented by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Enter promo code NYN for free entry. Clippard spent 7 years with the Washington Nationals. Almonte drives one to right center. That's going to go up the gap and short hop the wall. And Almonte cruises into second base with a pinch hit double.
Fastball down to a left-hand hitter and out over the plate. They want to come inside, and it's got too much of the middle.
Well, it's been quite some time, but at one point, the first game that Clippard ever pitched was as a starter in a Yankee uniform in Flushing.
It was back in 2007 in a Sunday night game, and Tyler was talking about that before the game today. He got the win in that game. He gave up a home run to David Wright, and he said, and I quote, "That was the coolest thing ever." I'm sure he didn't feel that way at the time, but that's how he expresses it now, 8 years later. Here's Will Venable, and he goes after that changeup. That's that signature pitch from Clippard.
Well, it's such a good one. We've seen him over the years. Mets have always kind of given him a little bit of a tough time when he was in the national uniform.
I think it's going to be interesting to watch him have to pitch against the Nationals this weekend.
It'll come quickly. Venable 1 for 3. Changeup misses 1-1. Those are the career numbers for Tyler Clippard, who started out with the Yankees as a starter. And that's moved him to the bullpen in 2009, and he really found his niche as a setup man.
How about most innings in Major Leagues since 2010 out of the bullpen? Whoa.
And he's got all his teammates on the top steps watch, including Steven Matz, who's here today. He's going to be heading to Florida tomorrow. Matz was examined today, and he's not quite ready to throw yet, coming back from that lat injury, so it's going to be another week till he can throw. But he gave the Mets plenty to look forward to with his 2 starts before he got hurt. 2-1 to Venable with Yangervis Solarte on deck. And a number. Clippard off the mound. Runner holding at second, and they get the out at first. Almonte taking no chances, down by 4 runs. You see a lot of this with Clippard with this off-speed stuff. A lot of 20-foot rollers.
He's got the head jerk too when he delivers the ball.
That high glove that he tucks all arms and legs at you, a lot of motion, and then the ball never gets there. Also has a real good overhand hook and high gas.
You know who used to get a lot of infield dribblers? It was John Franco with his changeup. And sometimes it would cause him misfortune. It's Solarte, 1 for 3, and infield hit his last time up.
Well, Clippard has big hands and that circle grip. He has that circle really tight, though. And those long fingers right across the grip like a four-seam fastball, but his entire hand on that baseball, and that thumb tucked on a seam.
Solarte takes it away, and it's 2-0. Clipper traded from Washington to Oakland in January. That's the deal where the Nats got Yunel Escobar, which was a very important pickup for them. Nonetheless, they missed Clippard in the bullpen, and they've sort of replaced him today with the deal for Jonathan Papelbon. That moves Drew Storen into the 8th inning, where Clippard thrived during his years in Washington. Popped up. And Tejada snatches it, 2 out. So the Padres are down to their final out. Coming up tonight, Dago Sports Night. After the post game, Chris Carlin will be all over the Tom Brady suspension upheld and the Henry Mejia suspension coming down. And what do we need? New loudmouth partner? No. Keith, you got any interest?
No, no interest.
Sorry, Chris. Ronnie? So you have to keep on looking. Gelbs? So Clippard with one more batter to get to nail down this game for the Mets. Matt Kemp is 0 for 3 tonight.
How about Danny Sessa from the Carpenters Union? I think he'd be perfect for that show.
That would be terrific.
Right?
I think we have to put out a call. No, Chris, I don't think so. Toward the middle, Tejada flashes, spins, fires, got him, and the ball game is over. Tyler Clippard gets the last 3 outs in his Mets debut. Noah Syndergaard with 8 brilliant innings for his 5th win, and the Mets win their 3rd straight as they defeat the Padres 4-0.
Well, Syndergaard has been pitching so well in his last few starts, but this was his best start of the season. The pitch was on point, throwing hard for the entire 8 innings, and Terry Collins' crew has got some life. You can feel it with this ball club with the changes that have been made.
I agree, Ron. You got to be. Terry looks very happy now. He's got some better troops here. This is the final out. The spinorama, as Gary calls it. Nicely done by Tejada. Clippard's reaction, his first appearance as a Met. 4-0. All runs by the home run. Duda and Granderson hit 2-run home runs. Both their 15th.
Game summary presented by Verizon. Mets now 4 games over 500 and hoping to pull within a game of first place. If Miami can finish off Washington tonight, Curtis Granderson and Lucas Duda each with their 15th home run as the Mets get their 52nd win of the year. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This one brings the total contribution so far this season to $130,000. Final score, Mets 4, Padres nothing. Mets get their 9th shutout win of the year and their 3rd straight victory. More from Citi Field coming right up.